Good morning, beautiful. I am so happy to start this day with you. Grab something cozy and let's get started. Welcome to Mornings with Kristen, your cozy corner for real conversations on motherhood, teaching, personal growth, and living life with intention. As a single mom, educator, and doctoral candidate, I know how overwhelming life can feel, but I also know that small moments of joy and encouragement make all the difference. Grab your coffee, take a deep breath, and join me for heartfelt chats that uplift, inspire, and remind you that you're doing better than you think. So welcome, this is episode 3. I have nicknamed it Bird's Nest and a Cackling Pigeon because I'm cracking myself up today. The quote of the day is, "We are all a little broken, but the last time I checked, broken crayons still color." Trent Shelton. So here's a little explanation. We are all a little imperfect. The notion that broken crayons still color encapsulates this spirit of resilience, reminding us that even when we're bruised and battered by life's trials, we possess the capacity to continue making a positive impact. Because you see, broken crayons still color. And just like that broken, worn-out crayon, we can also feel useless because of the mistakes we have made or the things that have been done to us. We think the world would rather have someone else do the work, someone with less brokenness and baggage, someone who has it all together. The truth is, we all have brokenness in our lives. Many times we compare our blooper reel to someone else's highlight reel. The truth is that no one has a perfect life. And just like that broken crayon, our brokenness is something that can help us to grow stronger and create something beautiful. Many times what we see as our biggest mistakes and failures are what help us to build something greater than we could ever have imagined. I love this quote and the meaning behind it. It is so reassuring to know that no matter life's circumstances, we have the opportunity to continue creating a beautiful life for ourselves and those around us. All right, so let's hop into our main topic for today, which is morning routines. Why are they important? So we all know on one level or another that mornings can be an absolute downer sometimes. It's way too early. And let's face it, it doesn't really matter what time it is always too early. You don't want to move, let alone get up and start the day. You're all snuggly in your blankets, relaxed and happy. Thoughts about all that you should accomplish today flood your mind. And that doesn't help with the getting out of the bed situation thingy. I get it. I so get it. The thing is, mornings and the routine of them is so incredibly important. The National Alliance on Mental Illness tells us the key to an easier morning is to keep your first waking hour as consistent as possible throughout the weeks. The more we struggle to make decisions, the more energy we deplete. When first starting the day, it's important to avoid decision fatigue by having a set morning routine. Having a morning routine can increase your energy, productivity, and positivity. It also generates momentum, building up to the brain's peak time for cognitive work, which is about mid-morning. Forbes tells us creating a morning routine for yourself is essential to a successful life. Waking up earlier than usual will give you ample time to focus on your goals and conquer the day with more energy, mindfulness, and strength. Now, I am a self-declared noon pigeon. I am not the early bird or the night owl. There's probably a more attractive and less noisy avian I could associate myself with, but that's where my brain went and it made me laugh, so I'm going with it. Yet, despite my status as a lover of not extremes, not being a worm bird or an owl, I wake up every day at 5 a.m. I did try 4 a.m. for a while, but that kicked my butt a little more than I could handle. So switching to 5 let me sleep enough while also giving me the morning I needed. So let me just take you through the first 3.5 hours of my day, from 5 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. We're just going to take a quick look at this. At 5 a.m., my first alarm goes off. Yes, I have several. I have an extreme fear of being late. It's just my thing. The Navy always says if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And it just was embedded in me. And I've never been someone who enjoys being late. It stresses me out. So I have alarms for everything. So at 5, my first alarm goes off. And then my room tree lights up on its timer. Yes, it's a Christmas tree. Without the decorations, it's just lights. I feel like it makes my room feel cozy. And you know what? It's my room. I can do what I want with it. Haha. Anyways, I usually lie there, bemoaning my fate, and having the usual morning debate of, should I get up until my second alarm goes off at 5:05? And I give up. Leaving my wonderful nest of happiness. Yes, I'm going to have fun with this bird analogy. Out of bed I go. I get out of my pajamas and into my morning cozies. Right now, it's sweats and a sweatshirt with muckluck socks. I love those things. One of my students gifted them my first year of teaching, and oh my gosh, I wear those things until there's nothing left, and then I get a new pair. I love muckluck socks. No, I'm not sponsored, I'm just saying. It's chilly in the house. I do my hair and makeup for the day. Then about 5:20-ish, I head out into the rest of the house. I turn up the heater so it isn't so chilly when Miss Moon wakes up, then I walk around lighting candles. The first is always the tea light by my Mother Mary statue, and I say a quick prayer. My brain isn't functioning yet at this time, so it's usually a single Hail Mary as I light the candle. Then I wander to all my other candles. I love the Frenchie candles and cashmere vanilla from Target. It's so cozy. It makes me so happy. And once again, I'm not sponsored by them. I just love them. I am not a fan of turning on lights first thing in the morning. They tend to get on my nerves. So I light candles, and I have little mood lights. You know those little fairy lights that you can have on a timer, or, you can turn on? They're just like cute little things like Tinkerbell sprinkled pixie dust. It's just my thing. Then I gather the stuff I will be working on that morning, like my laptop, any textbooks I'm looking at, that sort of thing, and plop it on the couch where I tend to work in the morning. I gotta be cozy, man. The couch is my jam. I love my couch. Anyways, my tasks are usually my doctoral coursework, but could also be the book I'm helping to edit or something for this podcast. About 5:40, I am in the kitchen saying good morning to my pups, Simon and Claire. They have a habit of chewing and eating everything, so they have a snuggly situation of their own in the kitchen. I make my coffee, I make their breakfast, we have snuggles for a few minutes, and then I head back out to the living room by about 5:55. It's always my goal to be out there before 6. Now, the pups stay in the kitchen after their breakfast. I know I would love to be snuggling with them the whole time, but they have a habit of walking across my laptop keyboard, and that's not exactly good. So, no. They stay in the kitchen, and typically they eat and then they go back to sleep and they get all cozy in their beds and snuggle together again. So sometimes when I'm back out in the living room with my laptop and all that stuff before 6 o'clock, I work in silence. But usually I will work with an aesthetic video on YouTube while I work. Just whatever I'm feeling in that moment, as long as it's calm and there aren't any lyrics. Sometimes that will be, I don't know, I'll listen to bird sounds or ocean sounds. And sometimes it's jazz music or just anything that just makes me feel like I'm slowly waking up. It can't be too deep. I can't do lo-fi in the morning because I need a positive way to start my morning that just isn't screaming in your face. I need it nice and chill. I work on my tasks until my alarm goes off at 6:43. No, I don't know why I picked that random time. I think I was just scrolling really fast in my alarms and that's where I ended. It just happened and I stuck with it. At which time, I will put all my stuff away and go turn off Miss Moon's ambient sound player. She listens to it all night long. I listen to the same thing. It just sounds like ocean waves. And it's really nice that she does, because she doesn't like silence at night, but also that means that I can be up and making, I try not to make too many noises in the morning because I don't want to wake her up. She needs her sleep and I need my time, but it's nice that it does cover up the random noises and me talking, so it works for both of us. So I turned her sound player off, and I give her about 5 minutes to notice that the sound is off and kind of ease in, and then I'll go in and I'll wake her up and we'll snuggle for a minute and I'll be like, okay, it's time to wake up, my love, let's go. And then I help her pick out her clothes for the day, and then I go put on my own clothes. I change out of my cozy comfies that I had been wearing, my sweats and my mucklucks, and I'll put on the outfit that I am actually wearing for the day. I need that brain signal. So, usually by about 7:05, I am headed out to the kitchen to make breakfast. And at this point, I'm bugging kiddo to get dressed faster. She has a habit of staring off into space, so frequent reminders are a thing. I don't know. At this point, we've got 20 minutes since the time that I woke her up, so it's like, let's get moving, kiddo. We got places to be, things to do. So breakfast is made and being consumed by 7:20. I'm usually doing her hair and getting her school snack and water into her backpack while we chat and eat at that time. At 7:38, we are walking to the school bus. It tends to be a bit late, so we play and have a good chat until it arrives. After I wave her off to school, I head back home, and the pups and I go play in the backyard. I walk about half a mile while they are zoomies and go nuts. I love listening to the birds and just being outside, so I typically don't have music or podcast or anything playing at that time. I'm just enjoying the feel of the sun on my face and listening to nature do its thing, and usually laughing at the dogs who are being all crazy. At 8, we head back inside, where I will put on one of my favorite YouTubers. I have about 4 of them that I cycle through, and the pups and I will cuddle on the couch until 8:30. Usually they don't do a whole lot of cuddling. They're running around and playing, and Claire comes up to me, just like in my face and like, pay attention to me. And of course I am. It's our time together. But they're usually bouncing all over the place, and then about 5 minutes before the time is up, they're all cuddled with me. But anyways, we listen to my favorite YouTubers and the pups, and we're all cuddling on the couch until about 8:30. They go back into the kitchen, and my work day officially starts. So I head to my home office. I am lucky enough to work from home. I couldn't be more grateful for the way that my life has turned out so far. So the biggest takeaway from listening to my routine is realizing that your morning can look however you want it to. It took me a minute to fine-tune what I needed in my mornings, to feel like I had done what I needed to do to be ready for the day. So I made a list. I'm a list person. I like to write things down. I feel like they're clearer if I write them down. So I made a list. My needs were, number 1, I need quiet time. I can't stand talking or loud noises in the morning. I know that's ridiculous. I'm a bit of a bear first thing. So for my sake, and frankly everyone else's, I try to schedule my morning to start before anyone else is awake. Number 2, I need dim lights. For much the same reason, I don't like loud noises. I find them jarring first thing in the morning. I mean, it just feels so rude to me to go from a dark, warm, cozy room where I'm all snuggly and happy to a cold, glaring spotlight. From 0 to 60 in the flipping of a switch. Yuck. No, thank you. No. Number 3, I have things I want to accomplish without the distraction of multitasking mama mode. My doctoral coursework takes focus, and I found if I try to do it with Miss Moon around, I can't help but being annoyed by every little thing. It's just better if I have my space, and for me, that's first thing when my body is saying no, but my brain is starting to get chatty, which happens about 30 minutes after I wake up. Number 4, I need to still feel cozy. I am still that pigeon girl. Mornings are rough. But I did a compromise with myself on this. I must get out of my PJs. It's a mental trick I do to myself as a signal that I can't just crawl back into bed. But I still need to be cozy, so I just throw on sweats and a sweatshirt. However, if I wait until after I wake Miss Moon to do my hair and makeup, I am unlikely to do it. So I switch to sweats, but my hair and makeup is done. Number 5, lastly, I do need movement in my morning. I feel all discombobulated when I don't get something in. But I can't do a workout. Not first thing. I'm cozy and happy and half ready to get into my day. Getting sweaty, needing a shower, rushing through the coziness is a hard no for me. But movement? That works. I get outside with the pups and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Maybe it's the worm bird and the owl. My inner pigeon is cackling. Simon and Claire get to run around and be all crazy, and I get my movement in. I walk laps around my backyard. I have 3 movement goals, and I'm good when I hit any of them. So the first goal is to walk for 15 minutes. My second is to walk half a mile. And my third is to walk a full mile. I just want to note here that this is actually one of 3 walks I do throughout the day, so I can be more relaxed with my expectations. If I only hit my baseline of 15 minutes per walk, I'm still walking 45 minutes throughout the day. And I'm not wandering. I'm doing concerted walking on a route I've pretty much carved out there. 15 minutes typically ends up being half a mile depending on how many times I stop to play with the crazy pups, but it works. And no, Simon and Claire do not have access to the big yard all day. They have their own really large kennel they can always go into just off of the kitchen door. So this is a very exciting event in their day every time we go out, because if I'm walking, they're outside with me. Why do I do this? They are escape artists. They love to dig. They love to climb. They are escape artists. So they aren't allowed to wander without supervision. Just like they can't wander the house without supervision. They are freaking toddlers. But I digress. Movement in the morning is really important to how my day turns out. And my movement needs won't look like anyone else's. I do also do strength train during my first break at 10:30, so I do more than walking. But it's not what I consider to be in my quote-unquote morning routine. I also took the stigma of exercise out of the equation by calling it movement. I always felt I never did enough when I told myself to exercise or work out. But I have found I am more consistent and accomplish more when I changed it to movement. Verbiage is important. So, here are some action steps for you. I want you to consider not who you think you should be in the morning, but who you actually are in the morning. Number 1, what type of morning person are you? Are you the bird with a worm raring to go? Are you the struggling night owl who can't believe the sun can look the way it does first thing in the morning? Or are you like me, a dazed pigeon waiting for brain and body to catch up? Number 2, what lights, sounds, smells, tastes, tasks, movement, and activities fill your cup in the morning? What would make this waking up thing worth getting out of your nest? Number 3, now consider the things that are must-dos. What can you not avoid? How can you make them into something you actually enjoy doing? For example, I do not really like getting my work done in the morning, but it is something I have to do. So I make sure I am comfortable, surrounded by sights and smells that make me happy, and I have my coffee made just right. Think on these things and comment your first step to an awesome morning in the chat. Remember, it doesn't have to look like anyone else's. It's your morning. Make it yours. All right, beauty. Thank you so much for your time this morning. I am so glad to have spent this day with you. Please be so kind as to like and subscribe here and on Instagram. My handle on Insta is Mornings with Kristen, all one word, Mornings with Kristen, and Kristen is spelled Christen. Leave a comment. I would love to hear your ideas for future episodes. Also, please leave a review on whatever platform you are listening and make sure you download and subscribe. I also hope you know how incredibly loved you are by God, because you are. Psalm 23 lets us know that Jesus left the 99 to find the one who was lost. He is seeking after your heart, and if you are feeling lost or alone, please know He is always with you. I'm Episcopalian, and I know the Episcopal Church welcomes everyone to God's table. It doesn't matter your background, sexual preference, or orientation, or your marital status. If you need a faith center, the Episcopal Church is waiting to welcome you home. God loves you just as you are. My wish for you is to face your day knowing you are smart, strong, gorgeous, and more than capable of handling what this day brings. I believe in you, and I am rooting for you. You've got this. See you next time.